Good morning, everyone. So yesterday we discussed about the arithmetic operators here. So any questions regarding our yesterday session? Okay. So if you are having any questions, please let me know. And I shared the playlist here. So did you go through the playlist? Any questions regarding the previous classes? Okay. If not, we'll continue the continuation what we discussed from the yesterday. It's like operators here. So inside the operators, we come out with a basic mathematical operator, and later we discuss about the module operator, and later we discuss about the assignment operator, and now we are discussing about the increment decrement operator. Okay. So the increment and decrement operator, how we can discuss here. So I'm going to comment out what we discussed in the last session. The entire section I'm commenting out, and here I will start. So new information. So yesterday, increment and decrement. So the post increment and pre-increment we identified. So post increment, what it will do? So based on the original value, it will update the operations, and later it will update the original value here. Okay. So for example, x plus plus and plus plus x. So the first one we'll call it as a post increment, and the second one we'll call it as a pre-increment here. So this is, we need to understand very carefully here. So let's have a simple example on this particular post-increment and pre-increment here. Int a is equals to 1 and int b is equals to 2. Okay, and now what I'm doing here, I'm declaring the c variable, and along with the c variable, I'm trying to declare the d variable. Okay, now if you observe, c is equals to plus plus b and d is equals to a plus plus. So see the output here, how it is going to print. And finally, I'm trying to increasing the C++, and I'm going to print this particular ABC and as well as D. So if you think this values, how these particular values are going to print. So carefully observe, initially, what is the A value we are having here? Initially, what is the A value we are having here? Something like 1. So here I'm going to provide A value 1, B value 2. And C value, we are going to come up with after incrementing this particular A and B. Okay, now what I'm doing here, C value I'm trying to increasing the pre-increment operator I'm using. So here, what is an operator we are using here? It's something like pre-increment operator. And so what about this? It's like a post-increment operator. So see the differences between pre-increment and post-increment here. Getting the point. And later, this is the, what is an operator we are using? This is also post-increment operator. Okay, so this is very important here. Now only one pre-increment operator we are having. So what exactly the value will do? The pre-increment operator, first it will increment the base value first. The base value is increased to 3. And once it is incremented, whatever the original value we are going to get, the original value, it will set into this particular C here. And right now, what is the C value? 3. So this is the line we executed now because it is a pre-increment. Pre-increment, what it will do? First, it will increment the value. Now the 2 will become 3. And later, whatever the original value. Now the original value, 3. The 3 value we are assigning into this particular C variable. And later, what is the line number 11 we are doing? So it is a post increment operator. Post increment operator, what it will do? It will try to assign the value first. It will try to assign the value first. Later, it will increment the value. So what is the A value? What is the A value right now? 1. And the original value, it going to store into this particular D. So now the D value will become 1. once we come out of the line number 11, once we come out of this particular line number 11, now the A value will become 2. So why the A value is now modifying here? Because it is a post-increment operator. This is very important, we need to understand. Because of the post-increment operator, what is doing internally? First, the original value is updating into this particular D, and later it is modifying the A value. And later it is modifying the A value here. Okay. Now the A value 2 and D value 1. And later what we are doing here? So the line number 12, we are incrementing the C value. So right now what is the C value? The C value 3. Right now the C value 3. And now, so once we come out of this particular line number 13, once we come out of this particular line number 13, the C value is going to modify because it is a post increment operator. Now the C value will become 4. Okay. So now run the same example. The output will be same or not. Somewhere we are getting an error here. So now you can see 2, 3, 4, 1. So now you can compare the values here. What we are getting here, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now you can see A value 2, B value 3. So C value 4 and D value 1. Okay. So this is the way the pre-increment and post-increment operator will do. Getting the point. So one more example I'm going to write here. So that example you need to give me the output here. So how exactly it is going to work here. Okay. So any questions? Any questions regarding this example? Okay. Now let me clear this. So what I will do here, I'm going to give as a 10. So this I'm going to give as a 20 here. And here, so this particular C I'm going to give plus plus B. And here I'm modifying something here. And this is the C value. And finally, D value increasing like this. Okay. So can you please let me know what is the output? Again, we are going to get A, B, C, D here. Could you please think and let me know what are all the output we are going to get here? Okay. Observe carefully how these values are going to print here. So again, we need to come up with a diagram here. So A value 10. So A value 10 and B value 20 we are having, and C value we are going to initialize, and here D value I'm going to initialize here. Okay. So now we'll move on to the line number 10. So whenever I'm moving into the line number 10 here, what is the values we need to understand here? So if you observe the C value, whenever I'm trying to initialize the C value, so what we are doing here, it is a pre-increment operator. So right now, what is the B value we are having? 20. Because of this pre-increment operator, what it will do? It will become 21, and the same value, it's going to update it into the C. Why it is going to update it into this particular C? Because we are using pre-increment operator here. Okay. Now the line number 10 is completed. Now I'm moving into the line number 11. So whenever I'm moving into the line number 11, so this is also pre-increment only. So this is also pre-increment operator. And now, so if it is a pre-increment operator, what it will do? What is the original value of C? So it is a 21. Now it is become 22. Okay. And the D value, it's going to store into this particular 22. And later, Now what I'm doing here, I'm coming back to the line number 12. Getting the point? I'm coming back to the particular line number 12. So here we are using the post increment operator. So once the operation is completed, we are not doing anything, just we are increasing the value. So C value will become again 23. C value will become 23 and D value, so the line number 13, D value, it is a pre-increment operator. Now the D value also 23. D value also 23. So this is very important. We need to understand here. So we'll compare the same outputs here. Now you can see 10 value, 21, 23 and 23. Getting the point? So this is the way we need to understand the increment operators here. This is the way we need to understand the increment operators here. And the same example we are going to use for the decrement operators here. So let's have a simple example on the same. So instead of this particular increment operator, I want to come up with a decrement operators here. So let's understand here how this particular decrement operators will do here. Getting the point? So this is important, we need to understand. Okay, so how this particular decrement operator will do here. So basically, now what you need to understand, pre-decrement operator, first it will decrement the value, and post-decrement operator, same way, first it will come up with the original value, and later it will decrease the value. Later it will decrease the value. Okay, now let's have a simple example here. One second, I'm getting the different errors here. Okay, now you can see so how this particular example is working internally. So these are all the different example. We'll go back to the same our mathematics example here, and now understand here. Now understand here, and what I'm doing here, and we are trying to come up with a decrement operator. So again we need to compare same thing, A value 10 and B value 20. So B value 20. Again we need to understand the C value as well as D value we need to understand here. Okay. So what is the C value? Line number 10. What is the C value we are doing here? It is a pre-decrement operator. What it will do, this particular pre-decrement operator? First it will decrease the value. So then 20 will become 19 and the C value now it is going to store as a 19. Okay. And what about this particular D? So D here we are using the post decrement operator. The line number 11, the post decrement operator we are using. So it's nothing but whatever the original value we are having, the original value will store into this particular D, and later the C value is going to decrease here. Getting the point? Later the C value is going to decrease. So this is very important here, the post decrement operator. Okay, pre-decrement and pre-increment operator, at the same time it will affect the values, but only the problem with the post decrement or increment, it will perform the operation with the original value and later it will increase or it will modify the value. Okay, now what I'm doing here, line number 12. Line number 12, so it is a pre-decrement operator. So again, it will decrease the value. The C value will become 17 and we'll move on to the line number 13. It is a post decrement operator. Even if it is a post decrement or pre-decrement, if you are not initializing the value directly, we can modify the value. So the D value 18 here. Now you can see 10 value 20, sorry, A value 20, sorry, A value 10, B value 19, C value 17 and D value 18. Let's see the same value we are going to get from this output or not, we need to see. So observe carefully, A value 10, B value 19, C value 17 and D value 18. Okay, so this is a way the decrement operator will perform here. So this is very important. We need to understand the pre-decrement and post-decrement, pre-increment and post-increment here. Getting the point. So any questions regarding this particular decrement values? Okay, so if we don't have, we'll move on to the relational operators. How this particular relational operators will perform here. Let me clear this. We'll move on to the relational operators and what are all the relational operators we are having. So I'm going to provide the operators first and later we'll identify the example. So now you can see this is the double equal operator. Okay, so what it will do? So it will compare the two values, the left side value and the right side value. So it's going to compare the two values. If the two values same or if the two values are equal, then only this operator will return true. This operator will return true. Otherwise, it will return false here. So this is very important here. All the relational operators, what we are going to discuss here, it will return true or false values only. Getting the point? This is important. We need to understand here. All the relational operators will return the true or false. So how we can compare? So for example, left side 10 value we are having, right side 20 we are having. Now what happens here? This expression will return true or false. It will return false. Why it will return the false? Because the both values are not equal here. And if I'm going to modify the left side value as a 20 and right side value I'm not modifying here. So if you see left side 20 and right side 20, now this become true. This become true. Okay, so this is important here. The double equal operator, what is doing it is comparing the values here. Left side value with the right side value. If the both values are equal, then it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false here. Okay, so this true and false we are going to use from the Boolean data type here. Boolean data type here. The Boolean data type can store only true or false here. Only these two values will store here. Okay, the first operator we identified, double equal operator, it's compared the two values. Now we'll move on to the not equal. So how this particular not equal operator will do? So not operator, and here I'm going to provide as a equal. For example, here I'm providing the 10 and here I'm providing the 20 here. So this 10 value is not equal to 20. Getting the point? This 10 value is not equal to this particular 20. In this case, now what happens here? It will return true. In this case, it will return true. And whenever here I'm going to provide 20. Whenever I'm providing here 20. So 20 equals to 20. And here it will return the false. It will return the false. So it is working opposite. So earlier what we did here we check the equals operator like this, 20 and 20. So in this case it is going to return true. Otherwise it will return the false here. It will return the false. But if we observe carefully, whenever I'm giving 20, the left side value and the right side value, it is returning false here. It is returning false. And other than this particular 20 equals to 20, it will return the true because it is a not operator we are using. This is important here. This not operator, what it will do, when the values are not equal, when the values are not same, then only it will return true. When the values are same here, what happens internally? It will return false. But here the double equal operator, what is doing it? When these two values are equal, when this particular two values are equal, then only the double equal operator is going to return true. Getting the point? So this is important. Now we'll understand these two example first. Later we'll come up with one more example here. Okay. And see, here only I'm going to provide the simple example. Relation operators. Okay, so relational operators we are using here, and inside this particular relational operators, inside this particular relational operators, what we need to understand here, and I'm going to provide the int a is equals to something like 14 I'm going to give, and int b is equals to something like 25 I'm giving. Getting the point? And I'm checking the condition. So observe the condition how I'm checking. A not equals to b. Getting the point? Here I'm checking the condition a not equals to b, and I'm going to print the values here. What is the value I want to print? So here I'm going to print the condition what we are using here. A not equals to b. Okay, and so one more if block I'm using here. One more if block I'm trying to use here. Here, if we observe a equals to b. A equals to b. And here I will print the values like a equals to b. So we need to understand here which condition is going to satisfy. Which condition is going to satisfy. So this condition is satisfying or this particular condition is satisfying. We need to identify here. Okay. So let me save this example, and I am trying to put a breakpoint. We'll try to run with a like debug mode, so that we'll get to know how this particular values are giving me the result here. Okay. So right side variable you can see, the right side section you can see the values here. The what is the a and b values here. Now a value 14, b value 25. So here we need to identify this expression. Okay, this expression is going to return true or false. So can you please let me know this expression is going to return true or false? So what you are trying to think, the line number 8, the a not equals to b, it's going to return true or false. So this will return true. Why it will return true? So now observe carefully. Here I'm trying to use the expression. So you can see control U, not evaluate. So here I'm trying to use the inspect here. So whenever I'm trying to use the inspect here, now observe carefully. What is the result we are getting? True. Why we are getting this particular result as a true? Because the a value how much we are having? 14 not equals to and 25 here. 14 not equals to 25 here. This is important. This value is not equals to this particular 25. Okay. So because of that it is returning true. Once it is returning true, now observe. So the print statement is executing here. The print statement is executing a not equals to b. And what about this particular a equals to b? A equals to b. So again, this is also we need to use the inspect here. Now you can see this is returning false here. Why it is returning false here? Both the values, whatever the values we provided, both the values are not equal here. Getting the point? These values are not equal here. And you can see if I'm going to use this operator, now what happens here? If I'm going to use this operator here. So here, just now we discussed about the increment operator and decrement operator here. So now you can see what is the values we are going to get, and the inspect what it will return. So still it is returning false here. Why it is returning false here? So because here I want to give as a 23. Now if we observe carefully, these two sections I'm modifying here. Now, so what is the condition here? So now you can see here a value 23 not equals to, here we are trying to use a 25 here. Here we are using the 25. So this is the condition is not satisfying here. Again, the line number 8 expression will return true. This line number 8 expression will return true, and it will move on to the below statement here. Okay, I want to know this here. So what is this? So this expression will return true or false. This expression will return true or false here. So that is I want to find out here. What you are trying to think here? The line number 11 here, because here internally I am using the pre-increment operator and the pre-decrement operator I am using here. So this is important here. Here we are trying to use around three expressions. One is a pre-increment and one is a double equal to operator and another one is pre-decrement operator. So using these three expressions here, we want to find out the result here, the final result what we are going to get here. Any idea what is the line number 17 condition will return true or false? So think and let me know what you are trying to think. Okay, so now observe carefully here what I'm doing here. I'm going to initialize the values. A value 23 we are having and B value 25 we are having. Okay, here what is the operator we are using? It is a pre-increment operator. The value will become 24 and we are doing the pre-decrement operator. The value will become 24 here. Okay, first value is increasing, second value is decreasing here. This is important here. So now you can see A value 24 equals to and B value also 24 we are having. Getting the point. So this expression is also satisfied here. Now observe. Now this is also satisfying here. Now it is printing A equals to B. Getting the point. This is important here. But here, so this is also one of the important case how we are using. Along with the double equals to operator, we are trying to use the increment operators here. Getting the point. Here we are using the increment operators here. Okay, but instead of using this particular increment operator, so for example, here if I'm not using this particular increment operator, basically A is equals to A plus 1. A is equals to A plus 1. So internally the pre-increment operator, what it will do? It will try to increment like this only. Internally it will increment like this. A is equals to A plus 1 here. Getting the point. The increment operator A is equals to A plus 1. But observe carefully, I cannot use the A is equals to A plus 1 instead of this particular pre-increment here. Instead of this particular pre-increment here. So we are getting an error here. Getting the point. We are getting an error here. Now if you can see, so still we are getting an error. Now A is equals to A plus 1 and I'm using the double equals operator as it is and the pre-increment operator as it is. So we'll run one more time. Let's save this example and we'll run one more time in the debug mode. We'll see so what happens here. So we are going to get the expected result or not. Now you can see. Now what happening here? So both conditions are true. Both the conditions are true here. Now, but here, what we need to understand here. So if you are not interested to write the pre-increment operator, this is the way we need to write the values here. This is the way we need to write the values and we need to provide the parenthesis first. Why we need to provide the parenthesis? Basically, the parenthesis is going to take highest priority to execute the conditions here. So I'm not interested to write like this. So it is a simple way of writing the expressions here. Okay. So now any questions regarding the not equals condition and double equals to operator? Okay, not equals to operator as well as the double equals to operators. Any questions? Okay, if anyone having any questions, so you can message me or you can communicate me. Okay, so if not, what I will do, we'll move on to the another operators here. So the another operators here, first one is greater than operator and second one is less than operator and again greater than or equals and less than or equals. This four important here. Getting the point. This four important we need to understand here. How this particular greater than and less than greater than or equals to, and less than or equals to operators. So these are also 4 operators, and these 4 operators also will return same values. It will return true or false only. It will not return this particular other than this particular true or false. Getting the point? Now whatever the relation operator we are discussing, along with these 4, and one is a not equals to operator, and another one is double equals to operator. These all the operators will return either true or false only. Either true or false only it will return here. This is important here. Okay. Now I am going to write the simple example. Observe carefully. Instead of this particular not equals operator, I want to use the less than operator. So what is the condition here? So it's going to satisfy, or it's going to satisfy, or it's going to give any error here. So I want to use one is the less than, and one is a less than equal. Okay. So now could you please think and let me know, these 2 conditions will return true or false? So now think and let me know, these 2 conditions will satisfy or not. So both conditions will satisfy here. Why the both condition is satisfying? Because first the operator we need to understand here, less than operator. Less than operator, basically what we need to understand here. So if I'm having 2 conditions, so first value, if I'm having something like 10 and less than 20. Okay. So this is the open side and this is the closed side. The open side we should provide the bigger value. If you provide the bigger value, the condition will satisfy here. Okay. So for example, here I'm going to use 20 greater than 10. So this is also will satisfy. Okay. And same I'm doing here 20 less than 10. 20 less than 10. So if you observe carefully, this section will return true, and this section also will return true. Okay. This section will return false here. Why this section returning false? Because if you see, this is the opening side, and if you observe carefully, the opening side, the values are less value, like it is a small value compared to this closing side. Getting the point? So here what we need to understand here, wherever either you are using the less than or greater than here, so this side should be the bigger value and this side should be the bigger value, and this side it is the small value we need to provide here. Okay. Here we can provide the small value, here you can provide the big value, and same way here also we need to provide the big value, here we need to provide the small value here. Okay. So this is important, we need to understand. So less than and greater than here. Less than and greater than. And if the values are not satisfied, whenever you are using less than equals, the both values should be same. Both values should be same. Or this value bigger. This value bigger value. Okay. So this is important, we need to understand the less than operator and greater than operator, how it is going to work. Okay. Let me run the simple example here. Here again I'm going to run same example with debug only. The same example I'm running in the debug only. Now observe. So here I want to inspect this. Whenever we are having the expressions here, we need to inspect this. So then only we'll get to know what is the result here. So the result you can see it is returning true. Why it is returning true? Because so if you observe carefully, what is the A value we are having? The A value we are having 23 and less than operator, and here we are having 25 here. Here we are having 25 here. So whenever we are having 25, this side is the bigger value. Okay, because it is the opening side. This value is a bigger value. it's going to satisfy here. And what about this left side? It is a small value. Okay, because of this condition is satisfying here. And now the condition is satisfied, it will move on to this section of code. It will print the value, and this is important. This is important here. Okay, A value and B value. Here we are using the pre-increment value. The value will become 24. The value will become 24 here. And now observe. So 24 less than or equals to, here the B value 25 here. 25. So let's see the expression will return true or false. Let me inspect this. Now what happening is, it is returning true. Why it is returning true? Because it is the bigger value only. So either it should be bigger value or it should be equal value. Getting the point? This is important. The less than operator, every time it will check the bigger value. Every time it will check the bigger value. The less than equal operator. Getting the point? The less than equal operator, it will compare the both. First it will check the left side value is bigger value or not. If it is not, and it will check the left side value is equal to this particular right side value or not, is going to compare. Okay, so either it should big value or it should equal here. So this is important here. Now in our case, it is a bigger value. In our case, it is a bigger value. Okay, so because of that, the expression is satisfying, and both the conditions are satisfying here. Now what I will do here, I'm going to write the decrement operator here. So here I'm trying to write the decrement operator. Yes. So for your question, so this is your answer here. You can see here. Now right now, again I'm going to run the same example in a debug mode. Now we need to understand the same example. So this condition will satisfy. Now here we are using the increment operator. The A value will become 24. Okay. We are having less than or equals to. We are doing the one value decrement here. Now this value also 24. So 24 less than or equals to 24. Okay, 24 less than or equals to 24. Now if I'm going to use this particular expression, what happening internally? What happening internally? So it's returning true. Why it is returning true? Because both the values are same. Either the value should be big value or the value should be equal. But only it is applicable whenever we are using equal here. Whenever we are using the equal. So for example, now what I will do, here I'm not using this equal. I'm using only less than operator. So now observe carefully. So if you see, observe carefully, the result we identified, but it is not moving in this line number 12. Is coming out of the condition here. It is coming out of this particular if condition. Why it is coming out of this particular condition here? Because both the values are same. 24 less than 24. 24 less than 24. So both, even though when you are writing 24 less than 24, this condition will return false here. This condition never will return the true. But here, if you want to return the true, you need to add equal here. Then only it will return true. Otherwise, it will return the false only. Up to the condition will return like this: 24 less than 25. So above 25. Above 25, any values you are going to provide, this condition will return true. But if you provide the below 25, all the condition will be false here. So here you can write the true, and here you can write the false here. Getting the point? So this is important. But only one case it satisfied the equal operator. One case it will satisfy the equal operator. Once it is provided the equal here, it will return true. So now this example you can see. Again, I'm trying to run in the debug mode. So the first condition is satisfying, and the second condition is also satisfying. but the second condition is not satisfied earlier. Why it is not satisfied? Because here we did not added equal operator here. Okay, this is very important here. The less than and less than or equals to. Any questions? Any questions here? Okay, same way, we'll try to identify the greater than here. We'll try to identify the so greater than. Now observe carefully how we can use this particular greater than here. So whenever we are using this particular greater than here, so both the conditions are going to false here. Whatever the condition we provided here, this particular both condition will be false because the A value, small value compared to this particular B. Now you can see first condition is fail. Why the first condition is fail? This is important here. So A value how much? 23 greater than 25. But what we are expecting is the open side value, it should be bigger value. But here, the closing side, we are having the bigger value. So it is the correct way to define the value. So it is a small value we are getting, and this section is a bigger value. So it is wrong here. Now what we can do, basically, if I'm going to provide 25 greater than 23, 25 greater than 23, so this particular value is going to be true. But here, this section of code will returning false. This section of code is going to return true because the open side we are having the bigger value and closing side we are having small value. Okay, so this is we need to understand. So because of that, the value is not satisfied here. Okay, and what about this? So if you need to understand this, A value, it's going to become 24. It's going to become 24 and greater than or equals to, and the value will become 24 here. The value also 24 here. The B value also 24. Now you can see condition is satisfying here, and it is printing the egg, the something like less than or equals. But I did not modify the message here, but observe carefully. Okay, so basically this is condition is satisfying because of the both values are equal. This condition is satisfied because of both the values are equal. Either the both values are equal or it should be matched with a greater than value. It should be matched with a greater than value here. So this is a way we can compare the less than operators and greater than operators, greater than or equals and less than or equals here. Okay. So any questions? Any questions regarding our all the relational operators so far what we discuss here? Okay. Now we'll move on to the Boolean operators here. So what are all the Boolean operators we are going to use here? So basically the Boolean operators here is in nothing but we are going to use this particular diagram first. This will give you the very important example here. So what is the important example we are going to get? For this purpose, if I'm going to use MS Paint. Okay, so I'm going to write the MS Paint here. Basically, sorry. So this is the diagram I'm going to provide here. And here, okay, this is the for the high level, and first one I'm defining. Okay, observe here I'm going to provide a value, and here I'm going to provide the b value, and here I'm going to provide the a and b, and here I'm going to provide a or b. Okay, and here so I'm going to provide the not a, and here I'm going to provide the not b conditions here. Okay, so observe here I'm going to write yeah. So this is the or condition, and this is the and condition. So this is important here, and here not a condition, and here not b condition. Getting the point? This is important example we need to understand. So how this particular the values are going to work? If you provide the values as a false here, a values I'm making as a false, and b value I'm making as a false here. Both the values I'm making the false. And what about this particular a or b? The a or b will return the false. So why it will return the false? I will let you know. And the b also will return false. And only the conditions here, the true will return or condition. Sorry, it is a not condition. Getting the point? The not condition will return the opposite way. The not condition will return opposite way here. This is important here. Okay, so first it is returning false, and the second one I'm returning, sorry, I'm trying to return the second condition as a true, and so inside the second line the a value I'm returning true, and b value so again I'm returning the false. What about this particular or condition? Or condition will return true. Or condition will return true, and condition will return false, and not condition will return false, and this particular b will return true. Getting the point? So one more here I'm going to make false here. Getting the point? One more I'm making the false here, and this is true, and this will return true, and this section again will return the false. Getting the point? So this section will return true, and finally this section will return false here. Okay, so here we need to understand the last one, very important section. I'm making the true, and this also I'm going to make as a true, and this section also will return true, and this section also will return true. Okay, and here this is false. Okay, now observe carefully. This is the important diagram here. This is the important diagram. Or condition. Or condition what is doing basically. So here whatever the expression you are writing the left side, and you are going to write one more expression with the right side. If the left side expression is returning true, if it is returning this particular true section, now it will not going to check the right side one. Getting the point? This is important. Once the left side expression is returning true, it is not going to check the right side expression, and the or condition whatever we are using here, it will return the entire expression as satisfied. The entire expression is satisfied, it will return. For example, this I'm making as this left side expression is returning false. The left side expression is returning false. Once this particular left side expression is returning false, now it's going to check the right side. Even the right side one is returning false. The right side one is returning false. What happens internally? The whole expression is going to return false here. The whole expression is going to return false. Okay, so either this should be satisfied or this should be satisfied. In any other cases, if any one of the case is satisfied, the or condition is going to return true. This is important here. Okay, if the left side one return true, the R condition will return satisfied. The R condition will return true. Otherwise, the right side one is going to return true. If it is returning true and this is returning false, this is returning false. The right side also satisfy, the R condition will return true. But only the problem when both conditions are not satisfied. When the both conditions are not satisfied only, the R condition will return false. Getting the point? The R condition is not going to return false here. Okay, this is important. What about this particular AND condition? So this is important, AND condition. The AND condition here, the left side one satisfy and the right side one will satisfy. So it's need to return true and this right side also it needs to return true. Then only the AND operator will return true. Okay, if it is returning false, this one, and even if it is returning true, even the right side one is returning true, so the expression will return false only. And here, if this expression is returning true, okay, so the right side one it is returning false, this also entire expression will return false only. Okay, when it will return true, so both the condition will needs to return true. Both the condition it needs to return true, then only the AND operator will return true. In any other case, it will return the false only. So that's this particular diagram is saying. Okay, if you observe, for A value I'm providing as A value you can think it is a left side value. B value you can think it is a right side value. Okay, so both value I'm making as a false, the R operator is returning false, and AND operator also it is returning false. But only in which case it is returning true? So A value true. You can see whenever the left side value satisfied, the R operator returning true. R operator, it is returning true. But what about the AND operator? Still AND operator returning false. Why it is returning false? Because AND operator, it needs to satisfy both the condition. The left side, it needs to satisfy the true, and right side also, it needs to satisfy the true. Then only it will return the true. But if you see, left side, it's satisfied, but right side, it is not satisfied. Right side, we are providing as a false here. Right side we are providing as a false. Because of that, it is returning false here. Because of that, it is returning false. Now you can see the third one. Third one, the AND operator, third one, it is returning false and it is returning true. It is returning true. So this also will become false. This also will become false. Why? Because this is returning false. This, if it is returning true, and this is already true, so this will become true. This will become true. Getting the point? So the last section is satisfying here. The last one is satisfying here because A and B, we are providing the returning true, and R condition is satisfied, and AND condition is also satisfied here. Getting the point? This is important, we need to understand. Okay, so any questions regarding this diagram? Because this diagram will give you the more understanding on this particular Boolean operators, the R operator, how it is going to work, and the AND operator, how it is going to work. Okay, now let's move on to the example. Okay, now let's understand the example. So what we can do? So here, now what I'm doing here, sorry, not int. We should come up with a Boolean. Okay, so we'll use the int only. Okay. Here only I'm going to use. Here only I'm going to use. So if you observe carefully, here I'm using the R operator, and here the A value greater than B I'm using. So this is the important one. If you see, this entire expression we can make as a left side one, and this entire expression we can make as a right side one. Okay, and here what I will do, here I'm going to make as a less than operator here. Here I'm making less than operator. You can see or operator I'm using. Here in the both cases I'm using or operators. Okay, how this or operator is going to work, we need to understand first. Later we'll move on to the AND operator here. So now observe carefully, b value 25. So we need to think. First I will check this expression. A greater than b. A greater than b. A value 23, b value 25. The greater than operator will return the false. The greater than operator is returning false. That we understand here. And what about this particular less than? What about this particular less than here? The less than will satisfy or not? The less than 1 will satisfy. How it is going to satisfy it here? So you need to write the expression like this. A value how much here? A value 23 we are having. Less than operator I'm defining. And here I'm having the b value. B value how much we are having here? 25 here. The b value we are having 25 here. So whenever the b value is 25, it is the opening side. So the big value we are having. Okay, so this expression is satisfied. Once this expression is satisfied, this condition will satisfy. Now you can see it is satisfied here, and is now it trying to print the line number 9 message. But what about this? The second one important. So the second one, what is doing here? Plus plus I. The plus plus I, it's going to be 24 and greater than or equals to, and the b value. B value also 25. Okay, so 24. First, the left side only it's satisfied, but the first one, right side one satisfied. Getting the point? This is important here because of or operator. Any one of the case is satisfied. If any one of the case is satisfied, it will satisfy the entire expression here. Okay. Now you can see this condition is also satisfied. This condition is also satisfied, and it is printing the value. Getting the point? So this is the operator we can use. Along with this, now what we can do? Boolean. So Boolean A is equals to, I'm making as a false, and Boolean BB is equals to, I'm making as a true. Okay, this condition. Now what can I do? AB and BB. Okay, I will print this AB and BB. So one more, I'm making the condition. Getting the point? AB, sorry, not and, or condition I'm going to use. Getting the point? So this is the one more block I'm trying to use for this particular block. So this is the value I'm going to print. Okay, so we'll put a breakpoint line number 14. Line number 14, I'm putting a breakpoint here because we need to understand the whatever we added right now here. Okay, now you can see. So Boolean AB value we are initializing false, BB value initializing true. Now you can think about this AND operator. Now you can think about this particular AND operator. Now what is doing here? AB. AB, what is the value we are having? False here. You can see here AB we are having false and BB we are having true. Alright. So left side is false, right side is a true. So what is the AND operator will do? Both the conditions satisfied. Left side value it should be true and right side value it should be true. Then only the expression will become true. Then only the expression will become true. Okay. Now you can see this condition is not going to satisfy it. So if you observe, I am moving in the next line. Now you can see it is not coming under the line number 17. It is not coming under the line number 17 here. So now what you need to understand here, the line number 19 here. So here AB value, how much we are having the AB value? Something like false. And what about this particular BB value? Something like true. So, and what is the operator we are using? OR operator. So because of this OR operator, it is satisfying the condition and coming under the print statement here. It's coming under this particular print statement here. Okay, so this is we need to understand about the AND operator, how it is working, and OR operator, how it is working. Okay, so any questions? So if the AB false and BB false, you need to see the diagram. Getting the point? If the both are false here, so the below two conditions are not going to satisfy here. If you see, I'm making the both values as a false here. Now both the below conditions are not going to satisfy here because the AND operator, both condition should be satisfied, and OR operator, it should satisfy any one of the condition. Now you can see both are not satisfying here. Getting the point? Both are not satisfying here. It's coming out of the both conditions here. Getting the point? So this is very important. We need to understand here. Any questions? Okay. So tomorrow we'll understand the ternary operator. So once we familiar with the ternary operators here, now what I will do, I'm going to discuss about the loop control statement, like how we can come up with the while loop, do while loop, as well as for loop here. So these are all the tomorrow the class we are going to discuss here. So once we familiar with the control statements here, we'll start with object creations here. We'll start with object creations. Okay. So tomorrow also one of the important concepts we are going to discuss here. Okay. So don't miss the session. We'll continue tomorrow.